Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another session of one of our College of Lore actual plays. I am Cass.
I am the penitent.
We are here to present to you another episode. Yay! Everyone clap. Thank you.
Please clap.
Please clap. So when we last left off, the party had traversed the Amber Temple for the most part. You had obtained the Tome of Strahd, so you believe. And many of you had gotten offered some things that very few of you took up the offer for. And I believe, where we left off last, all of the main party had their little whatever those were, some sort of vision or illusory experience. Oxford, did you want to inflict on the rest of the people who are here with you?
Yes, so whoever the last person who left was for us.
Yes.
I kind of turned to look at Irina.
Oh god, me too?
Preferably all of us, unless someone else would like to go first.
No, it's fine. I'll go ahead. She kind of sighs, kind of psychs herself up, kind of bounces on her heels for a second, and then kind of looks at you, gives you a thumbs up, walks straight through the barrier. Everything is quiet for a few moments. A minute or so of sitting in silence, and then she walks back through. Well, that was fucking stupid.
What?
That fucking sucked. What did the rest of you guys see?
I was
Did we
provided...
talk about it last session?
I think we did. We were all... Most of us, I assume, provided valuable insight. Whether you wish to share that or not...
That wasn't fucking valuable. I already knew that.
What did you know?
What I saw? Everybody knows that. What did you see? Yeah. I don't want to talk about it. It's fucking nasty. Anyway, it didn't give me anything I didn't already know.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Sorry if that disproves your theory or something.
Well, you're always an outlier to a degree.
I guess that's fair.
The rest of you learned something, even if you don't know what it is yet. Yes? And all of them kind of agree to this.
Yeah. So, are you guys going to go in? Irina kind of raises an eyebrow at the snakes. Really prefer not to. That seems kind of like a waste of our time. And we're not really bound to follow the same rules as you all follow for each other.
It's important.
Is it?
Oxford looks at him, square in the eye. Yes, and I will roll persuasion.
Alright, go ahead.
Actually, I want to see what one spell specifically. What its components
You
are.
gotta cast fucking Cause Fear on him. I want to see you
so
do it.
it's just verbal.
I want to see you
It's
do
just verbal components.
Okay.
So she's going to turn to him, look him square in the eyes, and just say, as a verbal component for the spell, yes.
Okay. Is that a save, I assume?
Yes.
Alright, tell me what save that is and what your DC is.
Wisdom 15.
He's not going to meet that DC. He's going to fail that save. He takes a couple steps back from you, kind of raises his hands like, alright, fuck, I get it, chill.
I will drop the fear effect.
Okay. I don't really get why it fucking matters that much if it isn't giving everyone insight, but sure, whatever, alright. I will go first. May as well all of us get this over with. He walks through, just kind of sighing as he does so. It is actually several minutes past before he emerges from the other side again, before he comes back to your side.
Alright.
He does not say anything to you, unless prompted.
Learn something?
Not really, no.
Make any deals?
No, I didn't.
Who's next then?
Well, the rest of us, right? So, any of you three want to take your pick? Mateo just kind of looks at the other three, looks at your party, looks at Arena, just kind of shrugs and walks through.
Yeah.
Walks back out maybe 30 seconds later.
Well,
He just kind of shrugs. Seems entirely unfazed by the process.
fair enough.
Uh, Zala will kind of volunteer to step forward next. Kind of seems a little hesitant, but kind of Darian's prompting to get it over with seems to kind of spur her into action, and she will walk through and come back another minute or two later. And I would like anyone who would like to, especially you, Oxford, I will have you roll with advantage to roll insight checks to kind of glean what you can from her reaction.
20 right off the bat.
Okay, for Oxford?
Yes.
Okay. If the rest of you want to roll to see if you know this, you can, but also Oxford can tell you later
Yes.
if you want. Oxford, the thing that you notice in her is this. When you've interacted with her before, you've always seen her as very much a follower in a lot of ways. She has almost this spark of determination in her eyes that you've never quite noticed in her before. It seems like it kind of sparked some sort of feeling in her that you aren't quite sure what. But some kind of... She looks like she has a little bit of a hardness to her now, almost. Just this very slight shift in posture and demeanor, like she's carrying herself a little higher. And then Kella will go, kind of last but not least. She kind of steps up to the barrier, kind of puts a hand through it vaguely, turns back to look at all of you, and then we'll walk through.
Oxford nods at her.
She will kind of nod back and walk through. And after a couple of minutes, she comes back to the other side, kind of looks directly at you, Oxford. You remember what we talked about when we were on watch the other night?
Yes.
All I saw was that conversation again.
That's strange.
I just saw snippets of what we talked about. That seemed important? No, it was just casual conversation.
And Zala?
Yes?
Anything specific about yours?
All of yours felt seemingly a lot more narrative than mine. Mine was just flashes.
Flashes of what?
Lots of things. My whole life. You know how people talk about when you are about to die, your life flashes before your eyes?
Mm-hmm.
It felt kind of like that. Just second-long snippets of things that I know I've experienced.
Huh.
Some of them I don't even really remember. That was all.
Interesting. Anyone wish to say anything else about theirs before we leave?
I think we've gotten what we needed out of that.
Then we should leave unless there's anything else in the Temple of Use.
Starting to doubt it. And we got the book, right?
Yes.
Well, I guess that's one big step then. Let's get going, yeah?
We should, probably head back to Barovia, yes?
Yeah, we should deal with the infants that we now have on our person.
How are they? Are they fussy, or... at all now, or...?
They're fine.
Okay.
They've settled. And are kind of content to kind of just be drowsy in the little blanket baskets that they're in. Kind of somewhere between, like, what are they called? They're like the like portable car seat things.
Yeah, okay.
They're in something kind of akin to that, except less high tech and less plastic. And all of you will kind of move to leave the temple. You kind of walk back down this kind of series of long hallways, up and down staircases. You find yourself again at the kind of the long, open entranceway to this temple. Nothing seems to have changed. And you can see that the doors are still open.
Okay.
And it seems to still be very lightly snowing outside.
Interesting. So, best course of action to get there quickly?
It's kind of back the way we came. There's a kind of a shortcut path that takes you around Valaki, though, since we should probably be avoiding that.
Yes, we should. Let's do that.
Yeah.
I worry about navigating them down this mountain, though.
We'll be fine. I'm sure we can take turns. You kind of see, kind of watching this interaction, seemingly has been kind of watching these kids. Actually, Mateo kind of holds out a hand to offer to take the baskets from you.
Are you sure?
You can carry them.
Uh,
No extra weight for me.
Thank you. It's...
He will, very carefully and gently for what you would expect from someone his size, takes the kind of the baskets, kind of the double-sided thing in his hand, and very quickly kind of, he has several weapons kind of aligned and very, kind of strapped to various places over his back. He actually takes, one of the, kind of the longer, like, polearm sort of weapons that he carries. I think he takes his glaive, and kind of ties with one of the ropes in his bag the baskets to either side of it and just kind of hangs it over his shoulders so he can carry it more easily.
Well,
and leave his hands free.
Thank you. Thank you.
They won't fall.
I trust you.
And the snakes will begin to walk, and I imagine all of you begin to follow.
We do. Pruitt kind of jokes. Sure would love a ride right now, but I don't think one is coming.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the people who, traditionally give rides around here, so...
Other people? I guess the...
One.
Oh. I was gonna say, I guess the Vistoni, but...
Not usually. Not up here.
No sort of taxi service, I suppose.
God, I wish. Van Richten's got a wagon. Doesn't usually, take too many passengers, though.
No.
And you begin to make your way down the mountain, kind of again creeping along some of these much narrower cliffside kind of passageways. This kind of winding path all the way back down. It seems a lot of the snow has cleared in the several hours that you were in the temple. It's not snowing very heavily. It's a very light kind of a sprinkling of snow, just barely enough to dust your shoulders as you walk down. You will have to probably make camp, but you'll be on the path by mid-morning the next day, you imagine.
Cool.
So you have a largely easy transit down this path, especially compared to the intensity of the blizzard coming back up.
So it is notably not trying to fuck with us.
No, not right now, it would seem. And you're not quite sure why. Maybe it's had enough, maybe you got there and that was all it cared about. You're not quite sure. But you do not see any signs of life. There is no sign of Strahd, and there is no sign of impending doom as you make most of the way down this mountain.
That's a pleasant change of pace.
It is, it's nice. It's a nice kind of reprieve.
Yeah.
And you make camp that night. I'll just go with the watch order from last time. I don't remember what order we did it in, but that's fine. Actually, I think I do, yeah. I think it was just down the line. Yeah. Okay, so... I am going to roll something for myself. Okay. So, the last kind of watch order that we set was Oxford, Pride, and Kella. It was Pruitt, Ruby, and Arena, Tayri, Zuril, and Zala, and then Mateo and Darian did their own fourth watch. So, as Oxford and Pride, as you settle down with Kella to watch for the night, I would like all of you to roll perception for me.
Alright, Oxford and Pride.
Yes, and I will have Kella roll as well.
20 and 11, respectively.
Okay, for Oxford and Pride in that order? Alright, Kella got an 18. So Kella and Oxford, both of you find yourself getting the sense that someone is watching you. You see, kind of at one point, just this shadow flicker just in the movement of the campfire, the light of the campfire that you have set up. As if someone maybe not that far down below you is kind of... You're near the base of the mountain now, and kind of the proper foothills where the snow isn't quite so present. And kind of in the tree line, you see a shadow kind of flicker, almost seeming to move in time with the campfire, but you're able to pick up on it. Are we being watched?
Perhaps.
Should we wake the others?
Give me a moment.
Okay. She looks very nervous.
Can I get any bead on exactly where they are?
You can get a general idea. It seems like they kind of have a few different spaces not that far from you that they're rotating between as the light kind of shifts. All within maybe 60 feet of each other, just kind of trying to move silently, get different angles on your party.
But not clear enough to point like a message to, or...
You can't see them directly, so no. You can more see where they aren't, and where their shadow kind of illuminates itself.
And their shadow is not enough to qualify for the you can see part of the spell?
No. I would say, at least in my personal ruling, you'd have to be able to see the actual person. It's too blurry to tell. They also kind of linger just, it seems like just maybe within the bounds of the mist, to the point where that would obscure your vision. Which is making it harder for you to tell exactly where they are.
I would like to cast Detect Magic.
Okay. Detect magic?
Yes.
Sure. Post the text of that spell for me? Okay. Presence of magic within 30 feet of you. Okay. So you see, obviously, anyone who has a magic item in the party, it lights up. The, basically all of the snake's weapons, the snake's armor, lights up as magic. The Tome of Strahd does not light up as magic, but interestingly, something within its pages seems to.
Huh.
It seems to be that some of the pages have magic on them and some of them don't, which is something to note.
Monitor that for later.
Yeah. A couple of the things that you've picked up, including the weird shifting stick, seem to register as magic, which is how that worked last time.
Yes.
I believe you cast Detect Magic on it before. You see all of what you would expect for that, just standard weapon enchantment magic. You kind of, you look in the direction of this person, trying to see if you can kind of skirt close enough to where they're staying without setting off necessarily their alarm bells to have them move away from you. And they actually don't seem to move, or you don't sense them moving. You do pick up that there's something else magic either on their person or in the radius near them. But you figure if you moved much closer to figure out what it was, they would probably run. It seems to have, the two things that it registers of are enchantment and some kind of vague, something akin to divination magic, but not the kind that you would normally find on, like, a spell. Or, like, a person who's been enchanted to, like, be followed by, like, a scrying spell. It's not like that.
You've been seen. I recommend you come out.
Roll intimidation or persuasion, your call.
I'm gonna go with persuasion, I think.
Okay.
8.
Okay. You kind of call this out, you get no response, and in fact you receive entire perfect silence and stillness. It is again, you're kind of low enough down on this mountain where you can't really even hear, like, the air, the wind anymore. There was only wind higher up on the mountain when the snow was blowing. And you've kind of gotten back into the foothills, the kind of forested area where everything seems to just be silent most of the time, and you can't hear even that, much less the sound of someone responding, moving, or even breathing.
But I can still see them there.
You can still see the magic on them, yes. And they don't seem to move.
I will walk towards them. Get a bit closer, slowly.
You kind of take another couple of steps closer there. The magic glowing in the space where you would assume them to be does not move.
Okay.
Do you want to get any closer?
Yes.
Are you just going to approach until something moves?
Yeah, until they say something or they move.
Okay. You get close enough to, you would assume, if you kind of peered behind the foliage, you would probably see where you would expect them to be hiding. You receive no response and you hear no movement. You're a little bit, like, into the forest proper now. At this point, it is not impossible, but difficult for Pride and Kella to keep a very close eye on you. They're kind of watching you from a distance as you handle this yourself.
That's fine by me.
They would have to double move to get to you at this point, is what I will say. And then probably use some of their movement the next turn. if they needed to assist you in a fight.
I would like to know why you're looking in on us.
Do you kind of look around to see if you can see what they're hiding behind?
Yes. But I invite them to come out before I do.
You get no response, and as you kind of push away some of this underbrush foliage, kind of these thick brambles, you kind of peer through them, you kind of illuminate your staff with a little bit of magic, just to kind of light the area. And there is no one there. In fact, all you see on the ground is a small, glowing little thing that lights up from Detect Magic, that you realize now is a sending stone. No person attached to it.
So,
I think sending stone is divination. If it's not, you can take that back, what I said about that.
the other thing that I saw.
The magic thing, yeah.
There was 2 magic things, were there?
Were there?
I believe there were.
There was something that lit up with enchantment and divination, is what I said.
Okay. Cool.
Yes. Which now you would assume is this stone which is enchanted to be a sending stone, which is a divination tool.
Okay.
I think it's divination. That's
Yes.
what it is, right?
Because
it's communication? Yeah. Anyway, that's what you would assume that was lighting up.
Huh.
And it seems to either have been placed as a decoy or left behind. As someone seems to have managed to slip away from you. I would like for you to roll perception for me.
Alright. 19.
Okay, interesting. You kind of you step another couple steps forward because you're really not sure how this person could have gotten away. You're kind of I think you bend down to kind of inspect for tracks, see if there was anyone or how long this decoy might have been sitting there. You peer into the forest, and as you do that, you feel a hand grab the back of your robes. And you are kind of basically yanked backward in one aggressive motion further into the tree line. Pride and Kella, I would like for you to roll to see if you can see this. Or I guess I will roll for Kella.
Don't think a 7's gonna get the job done.
No, you don't notice. You think Oxford's just wandered off to check whatever this is out. Oxford, you find yourself with a hand over your mouth and what feels like a dagger to your throat. Your staff kind of pulled from your hand as this happens. Just kind of left on the ground next to you. You could theoretically struggle for it if you chose to. And before you say anything, you hear a kind of very hushed voice. If you reach for that stuff, I'm going to slit your throat. You don't want to fuck with me right now.
She doesn't respond.
Keep quiet and answer my questions, and I will take you back to your friends. Or let you go back. I won't be going near them. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good. Do you know the names of all the people you're traveling with?
So she's letting me speak, yes?
Yes. She does notably still have a knife to your throat.
One more.
Okay. You get the inclination she is not scared to kill you. And run.
I just want to confirm something real quick.
Notably, if you are going to cast something, your staff is your arcane focus, and it
Yes.
is not in your hand. I assume it's your arcane focus.
Yes. I need to look exactly about something in Arcane Focus.
What are you looking up?
Okay. So, you do not need an Arcane Focus for spells that don't require material components.
Okay. Works for me.
So, as she asks for the names of people I'm traveling with, very quickly, I look at her, and I say, cower, and I want to cast Cause Fear.
Okay, go ahead. I will roll. It is a DC 15 wisdom?
Yes.
This person succeeds. On her, you would assume, her save. And she kind of just... You say that she kind of pauses for a moment, and then she just scoffs under her breath. I am not interested in playing games with you. And if you try that again, I will slit your throat, as I said.
You do better with a different tone for this conversation.
Tell me who you're traveling with right now. Do you keep silent?
Yeah. I pause for a moment. Hostility Your touch on this is too crude.
I'm not here to take lessons. I'm not asking you because I care about killing the people you're traveling with, or at least not all of them. I need to know if you know who you're working with.
Are you here to help me or hurt me?
That depends on if you're here to help or hurt some of the people with you. There are people in the group of people that you are traveling with who should not be here. They have no place here, and they are not welcome here.
Put the knife away.
No. You're not in charge right now.
We do this on equal terms or not at all.
I'm not going to give you the chance to run.
I don't need to.
Do you know the names of the people you're traveling with?
I hate this because any other character, anyone but Oxford,
Yeah.
would say yes. Put the knife down.
Figure kind of pauses for a moment. Pulls the knife away from your throat. Still holds you in place. Kind of still holds you back by the back of your robe, but will pull the knife away from your throat.
There, that's better.
Answer my question.
Yes, I do.
Tell me their names.
Tell me yours.
I asked you first, and I still have the weapon in my hand. I don't really want to argue this with you. I just want to know how much trouble we're in.
Tell me yours or tell me why it matters.
Because they're dangerous.
In what way?
If you know who they are, you know why they're dangerous. And if you don't know who they are, then you're fucked. Tell me.
Pride. Druid Darkstar. Ruby Weaver. Tayri Costo. Zurel Sage Whisper. Did I get last names on any of them?
I believe Darian and Kella told you theirs. Ashbearer and Darkhope, respectively.
Kella Darkhope. Mateo. Zala. Darian Ashbearer.
She, audibly growls. Sucking thoughts.
What is your qualm?
What has he told you? About who he is and what he does?
I know who he is and what he does.
You know he's a Zentarum agent?
Yes.
Are you?
The Zentarum have no business here.
Then why is he here?
Factions don't really matter when Strahd is still alive, do they?
I don't believe you.
They're here to kill Strahd.
No, they're not. He doesn't care about that.
But a common enemy works wonders.
Do you believe the phrase, the enemy of my enemy is my friend?
To a degree.
To what degree?
I think he's genuinely out to kill Strahd.
You'd be wrong. He can leave anytime he wants. And he will, if things get dire.
What's your qualm with him?
You're not privy to that information.
What's your qualm with the Zentarum?
I don't have one. I couldn't care less about the Zentarum.
Then why did you say it like it's a bad thing?
Anything he's associated with is bad. They're not good people. And they want bad things. But that's not where my problem lies.
Then what is your problem?
Him.
You really should consider telling me why.
Because for all of the terrible people in the world, in organizations like the Zentarum, in places of power, he is the worst I've ever personally dealt.
For what reasons? He's a killer, he's a liar, I know these things.
Yes. Do you know how much he's lied to you?
A fair bit, I'm sure. I'm sure he'd love me dead given the opportunity.
How old do you think he is? Did he tell you?
He never quite specified, but he looks He looks in his late 30s, maybe, mid-30s.
He's 43. I'm his ex-girlfriend.
How old are you?
25.
If I did math...
You wouldn't like the answer.
Now see, that is a problem.
It is. If he's here, he wants me to suffer. Whatever his MO for coming here, he has a second one.
Interesting to know.
That doesn't change your opinion on working with him?
Oh, it does.
I've seen the rest of your group. There are people younger than me in that group.
Yes. Girls of 16 and 18, respectively.
I was younger. Just keep that in mind. He's not a good person.
There's something you should know.
What?
I cast Gift of Gab, just so if she's recording any single way, it doesn't register.
Okay.
So she hears me say virtually nonsense, or anyone else would hear me say nonsense, but here's what I mean to say, which is, I am effectively his boss.
Do you want him dead? Do you care?
I would need evidence.
Evidence of what?
But what you say is true. Plenty of people lie.
He's notorious. If I had one single resource, I could answer all of your questions.
And what resource is that?
A DNA test. Well, I guess 2 resources. The other resource I need is our daughter.
He's mentioned.
I'm sure. I'm sure he talks about me all the time. He's obsessed. And he gets that way with people, and he gets that way with things, too. Goals, ideas.
There is an energy I've picked up from him since knowing him that, given the opportunity to let me die, he would.
He doesn't care about anyone except himself. And, unfortunately, me. But that's a means to an end.
He likes power.
He's always liked power from the day I met him.
And I feel that he resents me for being a superior officer to him.
Almost certainly.
Then he is due.
For what?
For breaking.
Be careful what you tell the rest of your group. About me, about this. He's very good at spinning loyalty.
And your name?
I don't need to tell you that. You don't need it. It won't matter.
Will it not?
No, it won't.
Why?
You won't see me again after this, unless it's to kill him. I can't go with you while he still lives. Much as I'd love to help you kill Strahd.
That's fair.
That is not a risk I'm willing to put myself in.
I would accept your help if you offered it, but I understand the situation that you've been put in.
Get rid of him and I'm happy to help. But I'm sure you think he's more useful than I am.
Rid of is a strong word. I dislike waste.
What's that supposed to mean?
Do you know what the Zentarum does beyond his little mercenary act?
No, it's on a much grander scale than his bullshit.
My title is High Inquisitor.
Okay.
I break and remake minds to be how we desire them.
He's overdue for someone to fix him. He's broken in the head.
Be it upstanding and functional for what we need, or a mindless thrall, I can make him something, given the opportunity.
And where do you think you're gonna get that opportunity?
I'm good at picking my moments.
Exactly how long are you planning to wait?
As long as it takes. Realistically.
I wish I could help you, I really do. It's what I've spent most of my life doing since I came here. I left Barovia when I was a child. I met him, and I ran back, because this was better than staying where I was. Staying with him. It's a pretty big talking point, right? But I'd rather be here than with him.
It is.
And now he's here. And I would put a whole lot of money, if I had it, on the fact that he knows I'm here. Because there's nowhere else for me to have gone. He has the resources to scour the planet for me, and apparently he has the resources to scour other planes now too.
They have a Vistani.
I know.
That's how.
I know. It's the only way.
Can I see this person clearly?
Yes, you can now.
What do they look like?
Not that dissimilar to Zala. Same darker skin, dark curly hair. The only notable difference is that her eyes are bright purple, whereas Zala's are dark brown. Not that they look related, but
No.
Same general skin tone, hair tone. Her facial features are a little more defined than Zala's. All of her looks very sharp, now that you can kind of see her a little bit in the way that the light is moving. But she, you would assume for sure at this point, is also Vistani, from her appearance. And she looks very, very tired, are the few things that you note about her appearance.
And
She has the same general features as Zala and her eyes.
the prosthetic, does she?
Yes. But that's not, I'm sure, something you can tell right now.
Okay, cool. You're Vistani as well.
I am.
Leave.
It's not that simple.
Why?
It's just not. There's someone else here.
Your child?
Yes. I can feel it. I can feel that she's here. I can feel her soul.
I'm sure you could make a deal in the temple.
I don't want to make a deal in the temple. I want him dead. I want him guaranteed to never hurt either of us again. And I can't leave until I know that she's safe and he's gone. At least one or the other.
I understand. I will do what I need to.
Are you going to tell them?
No.
Okay.
Not until it becomes relevant.
Are you going to tell him?
No. No, I'm not.
I have no reason to believe that. But you also have no reason to lie.
I'm not loyal to him in any meaningful way.
No, but I'm sure you'd like the help.
Again, I can get the help without the unfortunate side effects.
I wish you luck with that. I was right.
What?
You were the right call to talk to.
Was I?
Yeah. You know how this works better than anyone else.
So I do. I'm glad you think so.
I'm not fond of the Zentarum, I never have been. Not as long as I knew what they were doing, anyway.
Many aren't.
Why stay?
Why leave is the question.
What makes it worth it to you, working for them?
She kind of pauses for a moment. I am fixing what's broken in the world.
You think that's what they do?
A lot of things need to be broken before they can be fixed. You break it all the way and then build it back.
I guess that is your job, isn't it? You break things and make them the way you want them to be.
We have, as an organization, originally religious ties that we have severed ourselves from. Since then, we've made it our mission to make the world a better place and drag it kicking and screaming there if it doesn't want to change. People will die, people will suffer. The end result will be worth it.
What's the end result?
Peace.
What does peace look like to you?
No more fighting, no more war, no more vampires in castles. No more people like him, ideally.
And you think doing what you do will eradicate war and suffering?
It's the end goal. Unify people. Unite people. It's not a hive mind, we're not.
If it's not a hive mind, then it's not going to work. There is no total unity. There will always be a voice of dissent. No matter how much people want something, no matter how much people are forced to agree with something, some part of them will always know, if they really disagree, that what is happening is wrong. That is, I suppose, unless you entirely brainwash that out of them. She gives you a very knowing look.
There's a lot we do that I'm not necessarily proud of.
But it's worth it.
Yes.
Do you really think that there can be a world where no one suffers and no one fights?
Little squabbles here or there, yes, but ideally you cause brief suffering to end mass suffering. No more oppression, religious, societal. No more passionate anger that tears down families and countries.
Shooting.
Yes. No more abuse, spousal or child related.
Where do you think that passion and anger comes from?
Two sides of the coin, I suppose. A lack of passionate anger. A lack of passion at anything, I suppose.
Is that your job?
Remove passion?
Yeah.
It is one of my jobs. My main job is information.
How long have you worked for them?
Since I was a very young woman.
Do you know how old? Even an idea?
How old was I in the vision?
19 or 20, maybe? I think. Something around that. Early 20s.
Believe 20 years old? It's been a while.
It has, I guess. It's a long time. You clearly have been doing this a while.
Well, that makes me feel old.
Sorry, I'm only 5 years older than you were when you started.
I guess that's fair.
There is a merit to the idea of no one ever suffering. I understand that. I think anyone with any kind of conscience in an ideal world, in a perfect world, would want no one to ever suffer. Have you ever been in love? Did you ever have time?
No. No, I've never been on a date, much less in love.
Then you don't know what you're missing without the passion.
I am not a passionate person.
Were you ever?
I haven't been since I joined, and before then I don't think I was. Born wealthy, highly educated. Not much time for passions, more time for study.
Studying wasn't a passion.
It was an interest. What I'm passionate about is making the world a good place, a better place.
And when there's no more room for passion, who cares about making the world a better place?
Then we've won. The world stays better.
How? If no one cares enough to maintain it.
You can care without passion. I do. Raw, intense emotion is usually bad.
I'm not sure I agree. Raw, intense emotion is the thing that saved my life. Saved my daughter.
Really? How?
It's a terrible thing. The things that hurt you the most are also the things that save your life. When I met him, I immediately and aggressively fell deeply, deeply in love with him. It ruined my life. I was stupid. I was a child and I was stupid. But he was also stupid. His passion and my passion, it was like a toxic hurricane, a perfect storm. All we ever did was fight, it felt like sometimes, and then the other times all we ever did was feel madly in love. And in the end, when I had her, when she was born, his anger, that passion, was enough to make me realize a lot of things. So that was one part of it. That's one part of passion. That's one part of what saved my life. And for better or worse, his anger was what saved me. But love also saved me in a different direction. Do you understand what I mean?
I do.
And if those things hadn't existed, I never would have escaped. If I hadn't been passionate, and if he hadn't been too, then I never would have been free. Passion can bring terrible things to people, but it can also bring healing. It can also bring safety. It can also bring escape. And maybe, in your eyes, there's some sort of balance there. Maybe if we hadn't both been so passionate in the first place, it never would have started, right?
Yes, it wouldn't have. You would have been fine.
I wouldn't have a daughter, would I? And I wouldn't know what to look for in people who are dangerous.
We remove those that are dangerous.
No, you don't. You put them in power. people who have no feeling are just as dangerous as the people who feel too much.
Until they outrun their usefulness. Then we remove them.
You? Remove them?
Yes.
You. Not your organization. Who decides? Who decides when someone's time is up?
My superiors.
And who decides when their time is up?
There is a chain of command.
And who decides when the person at the top is over? Anyone? What if they become corrupt? What if, one day, the person who's supposed to care the most about all this, the person who's at the top of it, decides they don't care anymore?
That's when coups happen.
And that leads me into one more question. Who's going to start a coup if there's no passion to start it? I need to go. I imagine your shift will be changing soon. But think about that. Think about who decides and what happens when they are deciding wrong.
Will you leave this realm anytime soon?
No, I won't.
Unfortunate.
Why?
Because I need research done out of here.
Research.
Yes.
On what?
A name. A girl.
A name?
Yes.
What name?
Emily Redrock.
Emily Redrock.
Yes.
If you wanted that research done, where would someone start looking?
Birth records. At most public libraries. Specifically Waterdeep, but really anywhere.
Waterdeep has a database.
Yes. Graduation records from... I can give you the name of the academy you'd want to look at.
Sure. You can write that down if you want.
Yes. Really anything else.
Anything to prove someone exists.
Or doesn't exist.
What are you looking for with that name?
I had a vision of this girl in the temple. I want to know if she exists and what happened to her.
You had a vision in the temple.
Yes.
It does that sometimes. It does that sometimes.
You've been
Sometimes
there
people
before.
go in there and see things. I go there all the time.
Well, we all saw plenty, and I made sure everyone with us saw what they needed to.
Did he tell you what he saw?
Not properly.
That doesn't surprise me. I'm morbidly curious, but I guess I'll never know.
As am I.
Emily Redrock. Well, I hope you find what you're looking for. Whatever that is.
Yes. If you look into it, I would be in even more ways inclined to help you.
I'll think about it. But you think about what I said too.
Sure.
If I see you again, and he's around, pretend you don't know me.
Of course.
She steps back for a moment. And she pulls something from a box off her belt. And flicks it open. You see her kind of hover her hand over it for a second. And she touches something in the box, does a movement, you can't quite tell what she's doing. And she kind of pauses for a moment as she just seems to think. She's looking at something and you're not quite sure what.
I wait patiently to a degree.
As she looks at whatever this is, you see her eyes glow for just a brief second, just this brief flash of purple light. She takes another couple of steps back. She kind of closes this box, looks behind her, and looks at you. It was, despite my reservations, a pleasure to speak with you, Emily. And she turns and fades into the darkness. And I believe that is where we are going to call that session.
Thank you for watching this video from College of Lore. Remember to like this video, subscribe to join the party, and have a fantastic adventure.